Becca Tebon, and she is going to talk about that. Becca, thanks so much for coming on the program. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, I want to just nail this down real quick. I don't want to go too far over everything, but exercising in general, I know a lot of people, they're laid away from their gyms right now. Some people never had time to work out. So the system that I have has been answering a lot of calls to a lot of people. So I feel really blessed to be in a position to be able to help a lot of people. And I call it banding together because, we're banding together as a community globally, locally, and it's really beautiful. The essence of working out, though, is important because it helps people to de-stress themselves. And at these times, we're more vulnerable to get sick and to not, and to have other things happen, not even the COVID, forget that. When we get more stressed, everything happens to our bodies. Our hormones get thrown off. We get anxious. We get listless. We get short in our relationships. It causes a lot of problems in our health. The number one underlying cause of all diseases is stress. Stress. It has been linked to every subsequent disease out there. So when our bodies are stressed, then we're in a state of heightened anxiety. Our hormone balances are off. We don't eat right. We don't sleep right. We're not taking care of ourselves. So it's really important, you guys, bottom line, to create a de-stressed body. And so what I really do is I go in there and I help people to figure out, to navigate what their stressors are and how to alleviate them. And one of my amazing tools is the Best Little Fit Kit. And so it's really simple. It's really easy. It comes in all these amazing bright colors, but there's 3 bands that take it and make it different than any other program. And so that's been really interesting. But before we dive into the bands and stress, I think it's important for people to know who I am and how I got here, because if there was anybody on this planet who was born with some stressors, I was granted one of those passes. So I was born with 3 congenital health challenges. I call them challenges instead of diseases because I feel like if we look at things with a positive look and atmosphere towards that, then we can overcome them. So at a very early age of about 17, 18, when I got out of my home and I went into college, I realized that my digestive system, I always knew my digestive system was a mess. I was on meds for my digestive system, but I didn't know that not going to the bathroom, not eliminating number 2 was abnormal. I would sometimes go 1 to 2 weeks without a movement. Now, you guys, listen up, because this is one of the number 1 things. You've got to go when if you eat 2 or 3 times a day, if you're putting things in, they got to come out. So I had backups, like horrible backups. And what that causes is your body to reintroduce itself and reabsorb all those toxins that it's trying to move out. So one of my biggest things when I was in college was to learn about my digestive system and how to rebalance out my flora and get myself moving here, get that stuff, get the crap out of there. You say you're full of crap. I was full of crap. So that was my number 1 thing. And once I got a hold of that, it like life started to feel better. I seemed to feel better. I had even more energy. Now, I was a collegiate athlete, and so I had doctors, and I was blessed to have lots of attention on my body at that time. So I learned stuff that I didn't learn when I was younger. And all I learned when I was younger was if you have a problem, they give you medicine to make you so you're not in pain. So we were masking my symptoms with pain medications, but never looking at how to eliminate the symptoms and the causes. So I got this idea in my head that I could eliminate my asthmatic bronchitis. So I had pulmonary. I have skeletal challenges, so I was always in pain. I had chronic pain from the time I was 4 years old, actually till the time I was 42. It was lessened, but I had crazy chronic pain. And in my digestive system. So those three challenges were what I, was my deal to take care of. And I didn't really know about holistic doctors. I didn't know about naturopaths. I was really blessed to be in the home of a very—
It's 1 o'clock.
Sorry. I was very blessed to be in the home of a very amazing pharmacist. So I was given all the best meds. I was given all the great doctors. Oh my gosh, how many more? How many more bells can go off? I'm so sorry. Can you cut that stuff out?
Yeah, we can cut it out. Just restart over what you were saying about being in the home of the pharmacist.
So I was blessed to be in a home with a really great pharmacist, and I was given really great meds. I was brought to all the best doctors, and that's how we treated stuff back there. And a lot of doctors, most doctors today, if you have a problem, if you have a headache, they give you an aspirin, a Tylenol, acetaminophen. So they curb the effect of what's going on, but they don't all look at the underlying causes unless these become chronic. Well, mine was pretty chronic. Let's say I was born with this, it was congenital, but I was never shown how to eliminate it. So it became my calling. I didn't know it was going to be my calling to help other people eliminate their issues too, but it's been a blessing in disguise. So I say I'm kind of lucky because I've found a purpose in life based on some adversities I was given that have now turned into advantages. So moving into that, I'm now pretty much pain-free. I mean, if you were to ask me right now, I guess I have like a 2, maybe a 3 in pain, but it's nowhere like a 9 to 11. So I always have some kind of pains because I have 9 degenerative discs in my spine, 4 in my neck, 5 in my lower spine. I have osteoarthritis and stenoses. Most people in their 50s have some kind of stenosis or isthmus going on. So, I want to say to everybody who's listening here, if you do have chronic pain, don't succumb to the pain. Overcome it. And so overcoming it is working out, because then you're populating your body with, I call it like the grease of happiness, and you got the serotonin and you got your endos flowing, and it keeps your body feeling happier and it greases your joints. So the more you're stagnant and don't promote activity and movement in your body, the worse you're going to get. So that's my first heed of advice. If you do have chronic pain, you gotta move. Even if it's just walking, even if it's in your fingers and you play the piano, you've gotta keep moving. And so it's all been for me about lessening inflammation. I learned a long time ago, one of the keys to success of a healthy body is not having inflammation in your body. So I do the photos that show what kind of inflammation is in my body. And I'm really excited when I'm shown like I have like 1% in my neck, which is my highest point. We don't want inflammation in our body, and it's just in physical pain. So all those things inflame our bodies. So we want to make sure that we're not inflaming our bodies. And during this time, which segues stress on our bodies, we want to have as little stress and as little discomfort in our bodies as possible. So one of the things that I talk about is our habits. And Benjamin Franklin says your net worth to the world is usually determined by what remains after your bad habits are subtracted from your good ones. So take a look at what is going on in your life and decide, are these good habits? Leave the planet, right? If we have more bad habits, if we're doing more things that are causal to, we're not doing a good thing. We're not doing good service for our body. And I know a lot of people do work out, but then they don't eat healthy, or they'll eat healthy for the most part, but they'll crash and burn 3 or 4, maybe 5 times a week, where they'll have the cake, they'll have the cookies, they'll have the alcohol, they'll have things that are full of dairy or full of, not healthy for their bodies, that are creating backups in their bodies. So if that's look at, we want to keep things as simple. And I definitely don't feel like people need to live in a deprivation state, but they do need to live in a state of homeostasis, where more of what they're doing is taking care. If we really love ourselves and honor ourselves, then how do we go about changing over from those horrible cravings that are creating these bad habits for ourselves, right? That it's not your fault. If you have bad habits, you've got CCK hormones, you've got all kinds of stuff. If you're normally eating carbs and things of that nature, your body is asking for you to keep on having it, because that is how your hamster wheel is spinning.
Can you tell the viewers about 3 distressing tools that you could use to kind of get through the day?
Yeah, sure. So one, of course, is exercise and stretching, right? So taking care of your body and taking your mind off of the problems that are at hand. Because while you're exercising, if you're truly exercising for health, right, you're going to take your mind off of all that other stuff. You're going to be concentrating on your breath work. You're going to be concentrating on your body alignment, and it takes your mind off of all the other stresses. Talking about breath work is another one, specific breath work, where we're energizing or calming our body with breath work. So we can, you'll see people like breathing into a bag, or putting essential oils on their hands and doing some heavy here and now. Your listeners who are listening to this right now, they can just simply take their thumb and their forefinger, place the thumb through one side nice and deep, place the other finger there, and then exhale. Do it again. Inhale. And exhale. You want to do that breath work without hearing any noises. So you want to go really slowly, but really deeply, and hold it as long as you can, while you're concentrating on your breath work, on your finger movement, and watching that breath come in. Your mind is off of everything else. You're just concentrating on that. Another thing that I like people to do, which I didn't even share with you earlier, is coloring, color by numbers. Some of those sheets that are in black and white, or they're not even color by numbers, they're just those pictures that are just black and white. Guys, grab some watercolors or color pencils, and as you're coloring and as you're picking out your colors and you're concentrating to color inside those lines, guess what? Your mind is completely off of all those other things. And then, of course, food. Creating great food for yourself so that you are taking the stresses, taking all the toxins out of your body. There's great juicing that you can be doing to help with your body alleviating the stress. And I think just knowing that you're taking good care of yourself, I think that makes you feel good. It makes you feel empowered. It makes you feel energized, right? And you're getting energized by your food. And of course, essential oils like clove, the menthol ones like eucalyptus, peppermint, spearmint. Those are very energizing. Yin yang is really awesome. And then for calming, everybody knows about lavender. There's a lot of things that we can energize our bodies in the proper way without using coffee and things like that. So yeah, that was interesting for me when I don't drink coffee very often. It just within one day, my body went from a great alkaline chart to an acidic chart.
So Becca, thanks so much for coming on the program. We greatly appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so grateful, and I hope that some of this has helped you guys. If you have any questions, you can drop me a line. I offer complimentary consultations. So my website is beccatebon.com. That's BECCA. T for Tom, E, B for boy, O-N as in Nancy.com. So help yourself. And there's tons of great information, Flush the Flab downloads, all kinds of stuff for you guys. So have at it. Grab whatever you need. I'm here for you.
Becca Tebon, thanks so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it.